doesn't like Pink Floyd. So no, oh yeah, I do like Pink Floyd.
Not my bag.
You know what? I don't know how you don't like them, man.
It's not my bag.
Just dig in a little bit more. Okay.
I'm gonna die on this hill.
So careful with the Axe Eugene would be known by a lot, but this is the Pompeii version of it. Now Pompeii is in Italy, which actually genuinely struck me. I thought it was Greece as well. Genuinely thought the whole Mount Vesuvius thing was Greece. It's not. It's Italy. It's in Rome. Is it in Rome? Let's park that for a second. So they hired a guy called Adrian Maben to do a documentary about him, and he had just recently been to Pompeii. He lost his passport and had to go back into the amphitheater in Pompeii where he already was. And he looked around himself. This is without the thousands of people surrounding it. And he saw it in its dead, humanless form. And he went, you know what? This would be a phenomenal place for a gig. So Pink Floyd heard him and he went, Pink Floyd, you know what you should do? We should go to Pompeii and record Pink Floyd live in Pompeii. So in 1972, they went there. They recorded Pink Floyd live in Pompeii, which is not really on Spotify, which was a hard dig for me to get this. This was a remastered version on an album as a B side.
Like an add-on,
So if you go there and you can watch on YouTube. And I remember when I was about 15 watching this. No, it would have been later than that on YouTube watching. So when they started this, if you watch the Live in Pompeii by Pink Floyd. If you watch this track Echoes, you will see them in the amphitheater with nobody around them, and it is genuinely beautifully creepy. The reason I think it's creepy is because it's fucking Pompeii. Now, Pompeii is one of the two cities that are name-checked in the Mount Vesuvius, let's call it a tragedy, where it melted. The figure is 1,500 people, but they think it's way more than that.
I would assume it's way more.
Yeah, way more than that. People who were... And the weird thing about that is they learned so much from human nature back then. Because
there was a bloke caught wanking.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that in around... Well,
he was fucking freeze-dried, cooked while wanking,
What's wrong with men? That they have to constantly masturbate.
Wanking.
You don't do any of that now. I know you're not...
Don't know what you're talking about.
Terrible. So he got Pink Floyd were like, now recently in the last maybe 2006 they went back and Roger Waters did a little thing in this amphitheater just based on nostalgia and the fact that Pink Floyd in Pompeii is a big historical thing. The album Live in Pompeii is not on Spotify, but I did find a remastered version of Careful with the Axe Eugene is brilliant. And Echoes is brilliant as well. But if you watch the videos of it, you'll see Echoes done in the daytime where you can see everything. Careful with the Axe Eugene is spliced with lava melting, which I think is... Is it indecent? I don't know.
A smidgen.
But to record an album in a place where that many people would have died... Well, Vesuvius, this is... I'm really struggling to find the other place in Italy, Herculeani, where other people died as well. Pompeii is a big one, but there's other city as well.
Kit Harington was in the movie Pompeii from Game of Thrones.
He's not a great actor.
He is garbage.
God love him. That poor lad is in rehab because people keep telling him he's not a good actor.
Really?
And we've just added to that now by telling him he's not. But to be fair, there's only a very few good actors in the main amount of Game of Thrones people who are good. They heard hang on. They heard the backlog of they're amazing.
The background characters,
the lad, fucking
Rats from the Flats. They're all solid.
Rats from the Flats is there.
Yeah,
Bruce Bolton. Yeah. I watched this again recently after watching it years ago, and it is genuinely kind of a creepy fucking place. It's actually quite a small amphitheater. We're talking maybe 800, 900 people could fill this small place. This is the kind of place where Dead Can Dance would play gigs now. I'm wearing a t-shirt that says Dead Can Dance.
It's your Aslan t-shirt.
Dead Can Dance and Aslan are not
the cover.
Is it? The hand.
Yeah.
This was like in the 80s, man.
Doesn't matter. Aslan were
alive. It does look like that album now that you say it, but that was the hands and feet. Live at Pompeii from the early 70s is it wouldn't be like my go-to thing I would watch from
album,
Pink
like,
Floyd. Yeah, no, it's not. But it is kind of cool because the reason he wanted to do this is because all of the live footage from Pink Floyd before that was from like Woodstock and places where the camera would constantly pan to the crowd. This is a place where there is zero crowd.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard for them to get back into this place, but they wrangled it, much in the vein of Killing Joke that we talked about at the start of the podcast. They wrangled it, they got in there, and the only people that you can see in the live performances are Pink Floyd and the camera crew. And it is kind
you
of
can't see the bodies, like.
There's no bodies in. No, they dug this up. They dug this up years before this.
Okay.
So they just the amphitheater.
Yeah.
Now I don't know how many bodies were found in this particular amphitheater of Pompeii, which still blows me away that it's at the end of Greece because I was so geographically incorrect about
Zeus.
This. And I'm not going to lie to you, people listening to this going, Pompeii's in Italy, man.
Yeah, well,
it is.
I would say a good 60%. Yeah.
I would have said Greece. That's why. The reason I have a little note here going, ask her where Pompeii is. I do.
I can see it.
It's there. And now did not realise this is the beginning of Rome. Whatever. Fuck, we talked about Rome on this podcast earlier.
Rome. One of the big reasons for Rome actually being a place is because of mercenaries from Ireland were sent there.
I think we started everything.
But not far off it. Yeah.
We are brilliant.
Irish people, Irish harriers were sent to Italy during like a tribal dispute, and we were one of the reasons that Rome became such a giant militarized state was because of an invasion of Irish tribal warriors that were sent there, like for money as like restitution for something that the Romans had done beforehand. We were hired as mercenaries.
Really?
Yeah. And afterwards, they like fortify the city, start armouring their guards, start training their soldiers.
I love that you're not reading this. You're just pounding this off the memory brains.
Yeah.
You see, the problem with me is whenever I learn a new thing, it pushes something.
Yeah. Beyonce's birthday.
It pushes something. Pushes something vastly important out of my brain.
Generally,
like one of my siblings' birthdays, it will push out of my brain.
That's normal for me. I don't remember anybody's birthday. Like, it's happened multiple occasions.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say this right now, right? And hopefully some of my family may be listening. The reason I don't remember birthdays is because numerical dyslexia, and it's called dyscalculia. Now, it would be really handy if it was called dyscalculia, which would sound better.
Dyscalculia.
But what we have, and I didn't realize until this podcast that you have the same thing as me. Dyscalculia is when numbers, you could say...
garbage, just blurred and
messy. Dates
Yeah.
and numbers are absolutely...
I don't remember them unless they're written in front of me.
They're like Vaseline is covering them. I can't figure them out until that's why Google Calendars has been an absolutely huge part of my life.
Yeah, lifesaver.
Huge part of my life. Because as someone who's not as busy as I'd like to say I am, because I have a nighttime job. I do have a daytime job as well, but we won't get into that. Wow, that sounds sexual. No.
Filling Johnny's.
And sending them to...
Amos's sister.
I love how good we are at callback jokes. Give us a bit of credit for that. So, Live at Pompeii is a little bit creepy for me when I watch it back, and the lads are like...
It's the site of an atrocity, not a man-made atrocity.
Not a man-made atrocity, yeah.
A natural disaster.
And if you look at... Do you know what I found about this recently, researching this? Some of the artwork about Vesuvius and Pompeii is incredible looking. Like just the drawings of what happened based on that of Kit Harington. I don't know. Maybe you should.
I don't want it.
I don't want it.
I don't want it. Fucking volcano.
I made a pledge to the Night's Watch, and someday I'll return, but not right now because apparently I can make my own fucking rules up. So
I killed the dragon.
My last one, and I believe it is the last one, is Pink Floyd at Pompeii, where at least 1,500 people got
several teen people died. Ashed and melted, but
preserved enough for people to learn stuff from, which is actually quite incredible. Yeah.
Including the lad who have no wank.
And I'm also glad I got Pink Floyd in for the 75th time in this.
That might actually only be the third.
No.
I think it's third.
No, we've talked about...
Prove us wrong. I believe it's third. I could be wrong.
I'm not going to lie to you. We're all smashed up right now.
I'm coming out of it now.
Are you sober now?
Yeah, I'm coming out of it.
You came out? I didn't.
Lift home.
in your car that you don't own?
Not anymore. I got rid of my car.
Gar's got no car anymore.
I never had a car.
You did.
I had a motherfucking...
You keep buying fucking Renaults, and that's your...
I had a Renault
problem,
once, you mad cunt.
Yep. You know what? Don't buy a Renault. No. That's the rule of a car. Don't buy the French Renaults.
I had the one Renault I had was... I had two Renaults. One was a beast.
Told you.
And one was the worst thing I ever bought. Worst.
France. Are we happy with France?
No
Italy. Back
No
to geography. This was our haunted or therefore maybe kind of creepy...
This is our general kind of Halloween podcast, I believe.
Places that songs were recorded where bad shit may have occurred. Yeah.
So, as always, you can support us on patreon.com/Lost Art Podcast. We do appreciate every couple of euro/dollars you can throw at us. It keeps us alive. It buys new equipment. We have savage ideas for ways to spend that money.
We do actually. We have a little list of things that the Patreons that come in, we go, can we afford to do that? Now, we're not paupers, but at the same time,
I am this week.
Oh God, so am I actually.
It's a bad week.
I live in a part of town that is particularly expensive to live in. But the Patreon, we're not flush with fucking cash. We'll run a little podcast out of the basement of a pub, which I won't mention.
And listen, we're doing this off our own back. We own most of the equipment, but there's new equipment we need.
But in saying that, Patreon aside, we do love when people just tell us how good it is. And we are running the live event, which you spoke about earlier, which has already happened.
Yeah. Thank you for coming to the live event.
Thanks for coming to that. Imagine we both died during that, and this podcast went out via a post on Facebook, which we...
My family can have nothing.
My family don't expect anything from me.
To be honest, I don't have anything to give my family anyway.
Are you the black sheep of the family?
No, there's not black sheep in my family.
No?
Everybody kind of gets on with each other. We're not it's not the fucking
Yeah, no, it doesn't mean...
It's not Little House on the Prairie, but nobody hates each other.
I'm the younger brother that never really blossomed into anything.
Well, I'm definitely the one who never grew up. My younger sister has children and a life.
Your sister rated our podcast recently.
She does, yeah.
Grace?
Yeah, Grace, yeah.
Grace, yeah.
My parents were that unimaginative. They gave us the same initials. Yeah.
Is your sister married?
No, she's not. You'd have zero crack with my sister.
Why?
Because she's no. You wouldn't be able.
She's listening right now.
Yeah, it's probably not. Maybe you would have no crack with my sister. My sister would kill you. My sister's a fucking animal, lad.
What if I threw a hot curry in her face?
It happened. She lived through that once. She laughed at it now.
Son, you've made her the hard woman she is.
I shaped her. Shaped her into the woman she is today.
Grace, I hope you're listening to this and I hope you comment on it.
But yeah, listen, aside from Patreon, if you don't have the spare money, you can always help us. Just share out a podcast, comment on a podcast, let us know where we fucked up, let us know if we're too drunk. It does happen every now and again. We don't like it to be like this.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm smashed up right now.
I'm all right. I'm a solid 6 out of 10. I was about an 8 out of 10 20 minutes ago, but I'm coming out now.
I'm a 9.5 right now.
But yeah, listen, if you want something out of us or you have a good idea for a podcast, let us know. Also, the listener submission thread is still there. You can add songs in. And we will get around.
We're going to do number 4 soon, which is actually, I'm surprised we're even at number 4.
Yeah, we're getting there. People are adding songs in. Also, be aware, you won't be the first person to join the Patreon. There's a gang of them. You know what I mean? You won't be forced.
And we appreciate all of them. We genuinely actually do. It's paid for microphones. It's paid for hosting space.
Yeah,
so
hosting's a big thing. Hosting is very, very expensive. But listen, until next week, thank you very much. Thanks for listening to our Halloween spooky period. Fucking all periods are spooky.
Wow.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you again next week.